All right, we'll get started with the power and ground wires. All right, next I'll take my piezo, plug it in. Let's see, one pin is in row 5 and the other one is second pin is in row 9. So mine's a little larger. Like I said, some only span, you know, 2 to 3 pins, but mine goes from 5 all the way down to 9. Okay, and let's see, I'm gonna have a jumper that goes from pin 8 to row 9. So this will be where the piezo is receiving its signal from. Okay, then another jumper going from, well, let me remove this. I'll go from row 5 to ground. Okay. Okay, so for the switches, let's see, I'll have one first row 14. First leg is in row 14, and then next one is in 16. And remember that we have to hook it across like the middle of this breadboard, okay? Because these wires, the 2 wires here across this way, they are they're connected to each other. This is a straight wire all the way through, so we have to make sure that we don't have a short. Next switch, second switch, go 18, starting row 18. Then second leg is in 20. Next one is starting row 22 down to 24. Then finally row 24 switch, row 26 down to 28. Okay. So now I'm going to, for the, let's see, I'm going to need, looks like I may need one more additional jumper wire. So grab, okay. I want to take one wire and in row 14, well, go from the power to row 14, and that's the first leg of our first switch. Okay, and so now if you look back at the schematic, all of the, like the second leg of each switch, they're hooked together at a common junction. So what I have to do is take, and I might need a different size, but let's see if this works. See what I get with this size. All right, this will work better. Okay, so actually, the first side is correct. I need to go from the second leg of this first switch all the way down to the second leg of the second switch. Okay. All right, so those two are hooked together. Now I need to, so in my case, I'm going from row 16 down to 20. So another jumper wire going from row 20 down to row 24. And then third jumper wire from row 24 down to row 28. Right. Make sure your switches are seated good. Sometimes they tend to pop out. All right, so the second leg of each of my 4 switches are hooked together, and those are all hooked. Let's see, I'm gonna have one more. I have from row 28. I have a jumper wire going from row 28 over to analog port 0, A0. Okay, so I'm gonna take a 10K resistor, row 28, and this will be hooked to ground. Okay, so again in our schematic you see the second legs are all connected at that common junction point, and then they're all connected to a 10K ohm resistor that goes to ground. Now on the power leg, the first leg of each switch, there's a resistor in front of it connecting it back to power. So for our first switch, there was no resistor for our first switch, and then for the second one, 220 ohm. So row 18 to power, and let's see, for the second one, that's 10K ohm, so that'll be row 22 to power. And finally, for our fourth switch, we will have row 26 to power. All right, so there it is. All right, again, remember I had to add an additional jumper wire that I did not mention when we gathered our components. Okay, so now we're ready to move on and start programming.